Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to another episode of the Opposition Preview. First things first, guys, make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so. And leave your thoughts in the comments below. And on Friday night, Chelsea welcome Luton Town to Stamford Bridge, looking for the first win of the season and first win under manager Maurizio Pochettino, and looking to bounce back from a 3-1 defeat at West Ham on the weekend. The visitors Luton Town in the Premier League for the first time in their history. Their second game of the season after the game against Burnley postponed due to the stadium not quite being ready yet, and looking to get their first points of the season on the board as well. And to give us the lowdown on Luton, I'm delighted to be joined by Dave and Bataro from Oh When the Town podcast. Guys, welcome to Chelsea Fan TV. Thank you for coming on. Luton Town are a Premier League side. How great does it feel to hear that being said?
Doesn't feel right, does it?
No, it's amazing, isn't it? That, you know, given where we've come from and what we've done and where we've been in the past, yeah, it's brilliant. You know, who's your Premier League team? We had that question so many times when you support a lower league team, and I'm glad to say that we are one now. And yeah, it's exciting times at the football club. Really exciting times.
I mean, it's obviously, you know, you came up for the playoffs against Coventry, great game, going to penalties, pretty nervy and all that. But what's the feeling being in and around the fan base around Luton over the summer? Has it just been a case of, oh, come these days just go by, we're counting the days down to the season begins? Has there been like a lot of excitement around the place?
Just a pure buzz really around the place. Like you say, it's the first time in the official Premier League, you know, first time in however many years since the first division. I think the season before we got relegated, didn't we, before it turned into the Prem. But it's, I mean, look, I've never seen Luton play at top level. Dave has, obviously, I haven't. So for me, it's huge. I genuinely never thought I'd see this day. So I'm really excited for it.
But the whole town is buzzing, not just football fans. The whole town is buzzing with us being in the Premier League. You know, winning the Championship playoff final was an amazing day out. But the whole town is behind the club now and just wishing them well, really. And you know, it's nice to see that they're looking at us in that way rather than, you know, we're not part of the area really. So it's good, and you know, everything's looking really, really good. Everything, you know, new stadium coming, team doing okay, you know, Premier League, it's an incredible experience, and I can't wait for it all to carry on. Hopefully.
No, I think the fans are going to have a great time this season, going to grounds like Old Trafford, the Etihad, St James's Park, Villa Park, Stamford Bridge, Anfield, like all these great places that, you know, you probably never thought you'd ever go and see Luton play at, and now that's all available this season. So I can't imagine what it's like for the fans, what it's like for the players, what it's like for the town, everyone associated with Luton. It's great, and it is a really, really nice story as well to go with it. In terms of obviously your recruitment this summer, ourselves at Chelsea, we're never far from the headlines with money being spent. We spent a lot of money, brought a lot of players in. Newly promoted sides normally don't spend a lot of money, but in recent years, that trend has sort of been bucked. You saw when Fulham came up, spent 100 million, went straight back down. Teams are now spending a lot of money. Sheffield United dropping 20 million on an Aston Villa striker. Luton obviously haven't been spending the big numbers, but with what you've bought in so far, Ross Barkley included, are you happy with the summer business so far? And do you still feel with the 10 or the 8 to 10 days or so left of the window, do you still feel you need a few more bodies in the squad?
I mean, yeah, look, firstly, I'd like to say we are very happy with the business we've done. I think we signed 8 players, I believe, 7-8 players for around about £20 million mark, which is crazy, considering some of the players we've got in as well. Obviously, like I said, touch on Ross Barkley there. But look, what I will say is I feel like we need defensive reinforcements because we are struggling at the moment due to injuries and whatever else. I think we're looking at maybe, 3 fit centre-halves maybe.
I think the thing
4
is
potentially, but you know, they play 3 at the back, so we need covering each area. But look, I think another defender, potentially a striker, and we're good.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, though, didn't you? You said that a lot of other teams have spent a huge amount of money, but 20 million to Luton Town is a huge amount of money. And I know that sounds really weird, but you know, just before our previous transfer record was 2 million for Morris, and then before that it was Sluga, 1.3 million. And so, you know, to even spend 4 or 5 million on a player is unbelievable as a Luton fan. I know it sounds really poor, but we can't compete with the likes of Chelsea, can we? We can't spend the 1 billion. We can't spend as much as all the others. And even Sheffield United taking a £20 million player, I don't think our board will allow that at this stage, because we're looking to make sure that this one season, if that's all it is, secures the future of our club. And we've been in despair, with previous owners, but we've got some good owners now, and they're doing things the right way. It's going to fund the new stadium, things like that. So if you push too much on players, then you risk your club again. And if we spent 100 million on someone and we get relegated, he's off, isn't he? So
our biggest thing is to secure the future of the club. That's what it is for us. It's, we got the 170 million for the playoff final. Spent 20 million pounds. That fine. That's all right. But look, you're looking at in the sort of next 10, 15 years down the road, getting a new stadium, like Dave said, and doing the rest of it. It's just like, you have to secure the future. And us as football fans, obviously what happened to us, 15, 20 years ago, whatever, we know that has to happen now. Like, put it in place, then you build. Keep yourself up potentially, then build. So yeah, look, we're under no illusion of anything else. So it's a good thing for us, and we're happy that that's the way it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, one name you have brought in, and it must feel kind of mad that you've managed to sign an England international, someone that's ex-Chelsea, ex-Everton, at one point was one of the brightest talents in the game, has kind of lost his way a little bit. But how big a coup is it for someone like Ross Barkley to be playing for Luton Town? I mean, did that take you guys by surprise that you signed him? Because certainly for myself, I follow transfers quite closely. I do love the transfer window. I don't think anyone was really expecting that to happen.
No,
there was not any mention of it in any shape or form in any of the areas that you would normally see those rumours. And, especially the ones that are the ones that say, oh, this is happening. You go, oh, well, he said that, so it's going to happen. So no one knew, apart from our chairman, I would imagine. And what a coup, yeah. Like you say, he was an international player. He's playing for England. He was playing for you guys. He was, he can't be bad overnight. I think he deserves a second chance, and it's his chance to prove himself, really, isn't it? He's got nothing to lose, has he? Nothing to lose. So I'm quite excited about seeing him in the team and seeing what he can add to our game. Hopefully.
Yeah. And I was just about to say, we know what he can produce. So I mean, yourself, obviously being an ex-Chelsea player as well. He, on his day, he's a half decent player.
Good.
He's decent, very good, yeah.
I mean, do you feel you're going to be relying on him to provide most of your creativity this season, or do you think it's very much he's just going to be contributing?
No, he just contribution. If he can, if he can have that moment of brilliance, then great. We might need that a few times this season if we are going to stay up, potentially get a few more points. But no, look, we rely on every player, because we're not. I wouldn't say we're a team that rely on one or two players. We do rely on the whole squad as a unit. It's just like help each other out. I mean, that's what it is. It's a band of brothers, basically. Just work hard, and I think that's what we're going to see this season. Just the team working hard and just like doing it for each other. That's it.
One player doesn't make a team. That's what we're looking at there. And if he contributes in the way that he can, then yes, he's going to make a huge difference. But then we've got other players on the park that can do the same. So, fingers crossed that he has if he plays on Friday, he has a brilliant game. I'd be happy.
Scores the winner.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. Chelsea have got a thing of ex-players coming back and scoring against us. So if he does play, it can't be entirely ruled out. I wanted to touch on your manager quickly. Rob Edwards, obviously disposed of by Watford, like almost every manager is these days. He come to Luton Town, done a fantastic job. I don't know if you guys expected to go up last season or not, but just how impressed are you with him and the work that he's done at Luton? Because he's someone that is obviously clearly a very talented manager. Just how good is he?
Well, first of all, for Watford, it's so brilliant that they dumped him and we had him, and we got promoted with him, and made sure they didn't go up as well.
That's the sweetest thing.
That was really sweet. I don't think anybody was worried about who he come from. So that was a bonus, and he's a really good guy. When you hear him speak, or if you get to talk to him, he's a really, really good guy. And what has he done? He's tweaked the team a bit, got them playing a little bit better football. Probably a step up from Nathan Jones.
I'd say he's got more in his locker than what we previously had. Like, he's got more options.
And so we're delighted with what he's done and how he's recruiting. And obviously he's got Mick Harford on his side to help recruit, but. Yeah, you can't ask for anything more from a manager at the moment. And the only worry is that if he gets any better, someone else will come and take him away, because that seems to be how it works in it. But yeah, Rob Edwards has been brilliant. And his method of play, I've really enjoyed watching. And When you said, did we expect to get promoted? Well, when he came on board, he had a team that was going well. He made them a lot better. The previous season we got to the playoffs, and then we finished sixth. Then we finished third. We finished 5 points in front of Middlesbrough, 10 points in front of Coventry. 14 points in front of Watford, something like that.
Something nice like that.
And West Brom and all those sort of teams, all the fancy teams. But he really got the team motivated and working. So
he can't believe in as well. That's another thing.
Yeah,
he got a massively belief, like the massive belief that he gave them as well.
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
week, even when we lost the first game, I think obviously to Borough in the last minute, he was so upbeat. Every single week, this guy is upbeat about everything. I mean, it's kind of hard not to be, when you're smashing it in the Championship like we were at the time, not being rude or like disrespectful to any other team, but he just seems like he's a very good guy, a good human being with good ethics, and that's what we need at the club. So yeah, he's brilliant. Couldn't ask for a better manager, to be fair.
And in terms of obviously, you've had one taste of the Premier League action against Brighton, obviously a heavy defeat, unfortunately. But are you surprised in the step up in quality from Championship to Premier League? I know it's only been one game, but has that taken you by surprise, or were you kind of expecting it?
Well,
Dave Young guy,
I think I'm a little bit naive, really, because I felt it would be an easy step because of what I've watched on the television and things like that. But actually, I was quite shocked about how quick some of the games are, the passing is, the movement are. Brighton are a very good team, and they've proven that because when Brighton beat Luton, it was because Luton were terrible, but when they beat Wolves, it was because Brighton were brilliant. Yeah. But it was the same scoreline, wasn't it? Brighton moved the ball well, so I was quite shocked about that level. I don't think we was really up to the speed of the game, which was disappointing for me. But we held our own on that for a good 80 odd minutes, and then we had those final two kick in the teeth, really, with those two extra goals. If we'd have left at 2-1, I'd have had a different feeling. At 4-1, I think I said to the people I was with on the day, if that had been Manchester City, I think I'd have been tempted to leave at half time with a massive score, But no, I think that the golf is there to see. And, when you see the teams come down from the Premier League in the Championship, that's still pretty good. But when we went to Brighton, I thought it was a different gravy, really.
It's funny, obviously, like just touching obviously on the quality of football, right? Strangely enough, obviously, Chelsea, the link there. My friend was who's a Chelsea fan also. I used to go to Champions League games with him. Obviously, you get the tickets like the final group stage game or whatever else, and I see quite a few games at Chelsea. And even back then, I think at this point, the last time I see was probably like League One, so maybe 5 years ago. Was the last time I see Chelsea in the Champions League or whenever it was. And I remember looking at certain plays and I'm thinking, wow. I watched Luton on a Saturday and you think, not being horrible or disrespectful, but the level of intensity that you see from certain plays, and it's almost like they're not even looking where they know where people are. It's crazy. It's almost like, you know what I mean?
It's a different level.
No, yeah, it's miles.
Yeah.
I think the first time I ever see like Chelsea play, right, maybe when you had Willian or like Diego Costa, these guys, man, geez, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, mate, those were good times for us. I mean, in terms of your style of play, obviously you've played in a certain way to get yourself up to the Championship, up from the Championship to the Premier League. Do you think Luton and Rob Edwards are going to change the way you play now you're in the Premier League, or do you expect Luton to continue with playing the way that has got you here in the first place, or do you think you might have to adapt it in certain games potentially?
I think, well, of course we have to adapt to every game we play. I think that's what I was going to say. We have to adapt anyway. I mean, last season we adapted to who we played anyway on the day. It wasn't like we played one style of football. It genuinely wasn't like that. And people might go, what? Nah, come on, you must play one. No, we didn't. We played direct. We played possession-based football. It depends who you come against. Like, it was almost like if you can like suss it out in the first sort of 20 minutes, you can see then it would change, it like tweak slightly, and certain players would move a little bit more and, like come narrow or whatever. But I genuinely feel like we don't have a set style of play. We can adapt to maybe 2 or 3. The formation usually stays the same. Obviously, maybe different in attack or out of attack or whatever. But no, look, I just feel that we adapt to what's around us, and I mean, people might disagree with that. Dave, you might disagree with that, but I genuinely feel like that.
I think genuinely we don't get a lot of possession, especially on away games. We press a little bit higher, but we don't get much possession. But we just need to be effective with the possession we get. And if we can get the ball and make something with it, and get even a goal, and then start protecting that, then I think that's how they'll play, and then just go for the break. So I think it's opposition standards, really, isn't it? There were some games last season when we had only 20-odd percent possession, but won 3-0. And
that's what gives me confidence.
I'm hoping that we can play to our strengths, and our strengths are when we get the ball, be effective with when you get it and deal with it, and make sure that if you get a chance, take it, because you're not going to get too many at this level.
Yeah. I think that's the key, certainly in games against the bigger sides like on Friday night, and just in general in the Premier League, when you're not going to have much of the ball, like you have to be so clinical when you get it, because you might only get one chance in a game, and scoring or missing that chance could be the difference between you winning or losing the game, and could ultimately be the difference between staying up or going down come the end of the season. So yeah, being effective with the ball when you have it, not just for Luton, but just for teams in general, is so important, because in certain games you're not going to get a lot of the ball. In terms of players that from a Chelsea perspective that we should perhaps be looking out for or be wary of, who are kind of Luton Town's main threats, or who do you think are going to be sort of the key men for you this season?
Wing backs, Kabore, Giles, straight away. I would say I think that's vital to our game. I think that we play usually a 3-5-2. Holding sitting in midfielder, but the foot wing backs, we've always focused around fullback, having good wing backs in the team, very athletic, this and that. Unfortunately, now we do have that. Obviously, Kabore on the right hand side, the guy is absolutely electric. Giles, not too slow himself, great delivery, but like I say, it's a step up. But for me, they're the two. That's the area. So for me, is fullbacks, and obviously midfield we have to tighten it up a little bit as well. So yeah.
And I've been particularly impressed with how Chong has joined the team. He's quick and he's quite an intelligent player from when we've seen him play. And let's not discard Morris, because for me, Carlton Morris could be a key for us.
It'll cause problems.
He got quite a few goals last season, didn't he? And he's already on one this season. So I would expect him to play up and play a big part in it. So don't underestimate Morris. That's what I'm saying.
No, but certainly not. I mean, in terms of the game itself, what are you expecting? I know you touched on it. You're not expecting to have too much of the ball. Chelsea are probably going to have a lot of the ball. Impetus is going to be on us to try and break you guys down. Maybe you'll try and take advantage of set pieces of hitting us on the break potentially. I mean, are you just kind of looking at this game as almost a free hit, and the trips to the likes of Chelsea are not going to be what keeps you up and what sends you down? Do you just look at this as, wow, this is a great occasion for us, let's just go out there and have a go, and it's a free hit? Or do you view that in a different way?
No, I just say, like, for me personally, I feel like you see where you're at. Like you test yourself obviously against the bigger teams in the league, and but it's for us. I would say, yeah, it probably is a free hit. We're not expecting to get anything out of this game, like against Liverpool and when we play them, your Cities and Arsenals, whoever else. That's fine. We don't mind that, but if we can pick up a few points here and there from teams you're not expecting it, it's a bonus for us. And I'll tell you what, if we do get points from Chelsea on Friday, we'll be having a great night. I'm telling you that now.
You absolutely will.
It'll be a massive party. I think most of us are being realistic. Our hearts would say, let's go out there and get the points, but you need to be realistic where we are and who we're competing against at this stage. On Friday night, I'm going to have a really good evening. I hope we don't score early, and I hope we score early. You don't score early, because if we're going to lose, I'd like to score first. Just give us that little bit of ecstasy when that goal goes in, a little bit of belief. But no one's under any illusions that this is a difficult game. Chelsea have a lot to prove, especially because of the performances have not been what you expected when they started. We've got something to prove, because everybody thinks we're going to be the whipping boys along with Sheffield United. So, if we can just hold out, that'd be cool. If we can get a draw, that'd be brilliant, But tomorrow, Friday night, is going to be the night where we just have a bit of fun. And you're right, it's a free hit. If we don't win, no one's expecting us to win.
All I will say is the pressure's on you boys, not us. That's what I'll say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no,
pressure whatsoever on us at all.
No, there's absolutely nothing. No one expects you to win, as we've said. And then if you get anything, it's an absolute bonus. I mean, I just wanted to touch on the expectations. Obviously, you take 17th place right now, and the expectation, all the fans would love you to stay up. But is it very much sort of you guys approaching it and the fan base approaching it in a way where you're like, look, this is going to be really tough for us. We're under no illusions that, we probably will go down. But it's just about, as long as, we turn up each week and we, give application, we put 100% in, and the results will be the results. And you're just going to go and enjoy the games, enjoy going to all the different grounds and whatnot, and having the big boys come into Kenilworth Road. Or do you view it in a different way? Is it very much, let's just see where it takes us. We're just going to enjoy this. And if we're good enough, great. If we're not, as long as we've tried our best, that's all we can ask for.
Look, all I will say is, right, we've always been the underdog. No matter what's happened in like previous leagues, we know the Premier League is a bit of a different story. We understand that. We're not silly. But what I'll say is, we all turn up to every single game, win or lose, we're there for a party. That's one fact. But secondly, what I will say, the fact that, we're not, like I say, we're not expecting nothing. Can we stay up? No one knows. I mean, is there 3 worse teams than us? Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
It's historical. No one knows this. But look, I genuinely feel if we can get sort of like maybe, I don't know, 18, 20 points by Christmas, you look at it like that and you go, it's doable. But look, like I said, we're under no illusion. We're not silly. We know what we're up against, competing against elite teams and whatever else. And it's changed in the last how many, 20, 30 years. We know that. The money's ridiculous nowadays, but we just hope to prove people wrong. That's really what we want to do.
That's what I was about to say. The expectation is that, from everywhere else, from all the pundits, from everywhere you read, everything you read about Luton Town are already relegated. So I want to prove that wrong. I don't want to be cast adrift by Christmas, because that horrible stat that if you're bottom of the league at Christmas, you're going down. So I'd like to think that we'll be in the mix for as long as we can, and then we can push on and push out of that bottom 3. Maybe we'll not even be in it because we're not in it right now. And you know what? It's
same amount of points as us after 2 games.
Generally, it's a 6-pointer on Friday, really, for us, isn't it? Let's be fair. But if we can stay in that fight to stay up, rather than be cast adrift, in like the likes of Derby County did, then I think we'll be happy and we'll be able to fight to the end. And hopefully, we get to that last game at home against Fulham, and we're there to have a chance of staying up. Then I think that would be fantastic.
No,
that'd be realistic.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, just very briefly, in terms from a Chelsea perspective, when you look at the team, obviously, it's full of expensive players, top quality players. Is there anyone that you think, oh, geez, we better watch out for these? If we let him have too much space or get half a yard on us, like we could get punished. Does anyone stand out in particular?
I think, me personally, I think Mudryk. I've seen Mudryk play a lot in the last recent few years. And obviously, when Chelsea signed, I was like, oh, well, that's a great sign. But I know he hasn't hit the height yet. He's hit nothing at all, realistically. But I feel like when this guy gets going, he's gonna turn it on, and he's just gonna be one of those players. He's gonna rip people apart. And I just hope it's not on Friday, because if it is, then I hope someone takes him out and they've got a nice long stud on the bottom of their boots. Because no.
The problem is that you can look at your squad and you've got quality everywhere, in my view. You spent a lot of money on players. Your man has just spent 115 million pounds on. You don't spend that on a player if you don't think he's any good.
No.
And so I'd be worried, because he's got a point to prove, especially after the game at the weekend, that he can play better than he did. So I'm worried about Moises. And I just look down the list of players and I just think, oh, there's that one. Oh no! So I can't pick any more out.
I mean, trying to get through Thiago Silva is going to be a job as well.
Well, true. Yeah.
True. Yeah, I mean, it's we're going to have, well, if they both play, it's going to be the 2 most expensive players in Premier League history lining up alongside each other in midfield. It's kind of mad.
The amount you've paid for one of those players is the amount we're spending on our stadium.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It is mad when you put it like that. It is crazy, sort of the gaps in spending and whatnot between sort of the bigger clubs and the slightly lesser clubs in the league. Last thing, lads, score prediction. I know predictions are tough. We're not always the best at them. I'm not too good at them either. But what are you thinking realistically? We can have a head and heart prediction if we want to go with that.
Okay, I'll go with the heart one first, and that's that we nick a last minute winner, or or give us the XC of having a last-minute draw. I don't care, as long as we walk away with our heads held high and we've got a point. My head says it's going to be a really, really tough game, and if Chelsea score quickly and early, then I hope we keep the score down and we play to our strengths and don't get any worse. So, the head says we could lose 3-0. My heart says, can we please win 1-0 or get a draw?
Yeah, I think
I've covered every area there.
Yeah, to be fair, Dave, you said like quick score prediction.
Yeah, right.
But, look, I think for me, I keep banging on about a 1-0 win. So I'm going to sit here and go, I'm going for a 1-0 win for Luton late on. Spoil the party for you lot. And but no, realistically, I think we'll probably lose by a couple of goals. 2-0, potentially 3-1. I don't know. I'd like to score though, because that'd be nice, wouldn't it, to score?
Like I said earlier, though, if we're going to score and you guys are going to beat us, can we score first? Because it makes it more fun. It makes it much.
Then you can take your photos of Luton beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge for however long it might be.
To be fair, we have done it before, and
that's happened before.
Yeah. So
you never know.
Well, let's fingers crossed.
That is the beauty of football. You just never know. Anyone can beat anyone on any given day, no matter the difference in the quality of the players. That's why we all love it. I think for myself, I've got to back my boys. I've got to think we're going to get this first win of the season under Pochettino, put right the defeat against West Ham. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. I think we'll get a few goals. I'll go for a 3-1, but I don't think there's going to be too much in the game, and it'll be a lot closer than people expect. But guys, thank you so much for your time. It's massively, massively appreciated. If people want to check out more of your stuff, where is the best place for them to go?
Well, you can get us on all the usual places you get your podcasts on, and just type in at When the Town. We're on YouTube as well, at When the Town. And if you want to see what we talk about the game on Monday, because that's when we'll go out Tuesday. So after the game, if you want to come see what we think about the game, come on YouTube, subscribe and like. That'd be fantastic.
Brilliant. I'll link all that in the description below. So guys, make sure you do go and check it out. Go and support the lads. That would be very much appreciated. So please do that, people. Guys, it's a good place to round out. So make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV if you haven't done so. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll catch you again in another video soon.